going to do a fast reading for you today. I apologize for the delay. We had an issue with the audio, and I am re-recording several of the readings. So I appreciate everyone's patience while I went through and really did what I could. There was no way to salvage the videos, so I did want to get something up, a holiday video, if there were any blockages, any difficult family members, or any advice that you might need over the course of the holiday. And so let's begin. Leo, it looks like there is a person in your family who does very well for themselves. Perhaps when you see this person around the holidays, they have a tendency to judge, to compare even. Sometimes that can happen with brothers and sisters. A chunk of cards really is dying to get out. They'll do a comparison of the Joneses, who has the bigger TV, who has the bigger house. It looks like there may be several siblings here. Maybe the eldest will sort of play judge and jury to the younger siblings. It looks like there's a favorite sibling. This really looks like when you, for whomever this is for, when you go home around the holidays, this is about who's been doing better all year, who's made more money, who shows up with a bigger car, who shows up with the best suit, and then it becomes the comparison game, who's been doing better all year. Leo, that's what I'm seeing. So for you, the advice I think we're looking for is, how do you have the best holiday? How will you deal with these people? It doesn't look like the parents involved, if any, are discouraging this behavior. You may have the types of parents who even encouraged this when you were children, thinking this was healthy, so as adults you do this, but it doesn't look like you enjoy this very much. It looks like you also do not like to encourage your children. This is not something you encourage your children to partake in, and you don't really love it that your children are seeing this. If you are a younger person and these are your siblings and you're not old enough to be out of the house yet, and you're seeing this and you're partaking in this, it looks like you are thinking about a time ahead. When you're planning your family, this is not something you will want your children to partake in. It does not look like this is a family who really values material over all else. So it doesn't look like this is the type of family who you're going to have a conversation with and just sort of say, gee, you're hurting my feelings, because it doesn't look like this family values emotional over the material. It looks like this is a family who really values material over all else. That is where their value comes from. So we want to find the best advice for you to try to come out unscathed. It looks like a lot of little barbs exchanged. These are so many of the same cards coming. These are not so you are going to have to really use your intellect, Leo, to deal with these people, because all they understand is business acumen, these are people who have a holier than thou attitude. These are not people who value emotion These are people who deal with money. These are not people, these are people who have a thick skin. These are people who are not going to just hear you say, gee, I'm feeling emotional, and respond. These are people who stick together in the way they were raised. And if you are the only person who is emotionally wired like this, and I definitely see you attending this event. I mean, you're there, you're seated with these people. And you have a very strong backbone. That's not the problem. Leo, you're very strong. You know, in the first reading I did for you, it talked about them bringing up really touchy things with you. So it looks like the family is also divided on a couple of things. It looks like half, even though they all think this way, half of them, they do disagree on some things. There are some things that they all disagree on surrounding finance. So maybe you might be able to take advantage of that, Leo. You might be able to focus on that part of the conversation. I'm not encouraging you to cause a rift in your family. I'm just saying you might be able to play peacemaker in that area to take the focus off of you. And you might be able to come out looking like a hero in that way, right? Talking about an old rift in the family while also taking some of that conversation off of you at the dinner table. So we're talking about, you know, Aunt Susie's old inheritance that, gee, remember that thing that never really was dispersed the right way? Wouldn't that have been nice if she had really put it in this fund or that fund? And you're playing peacemaker about this old money issue in the family. So instead of them focusing on you now, they're focusing on something else. Right. The focus is now off of you. Leo, let's get you some final advice about this. I think that's the best way to go, Leo, to focus on this old, there's some tension here about money, an old argument in the family that has existed, and I think that is your best bet. So advice is the turtle, which talks about, a lot of people have this card, talks about coming out of your shell, but also sticking your neck out a bit, talking about an old subject. And then let's get you one more. Also the sword. So this talks about quarrels, which we just discussed, old quarrels in the family, and taking quick action. This also talks about a minor surgery. So if someone is having a surgery in the family and that comes up, you might want to, again, take the side of sympathy and discuss that. But that is your advice. Leo, thank you so much for sitting with me for a while. Take care. Have a good holiday.